Hi everyone, my name is Rhoda and I have a chili recipe today. It's my mama's recipe, but if you have your favorite chili recipe, you can just juice it up. Add your favorite, add a little bit more to it, a little Worcestershire, a little bit of vinegar, a couple bay leaves, just add it up. I am not allowed to give out my mother's recipe, but I had a friend on Facebook post that she bought a 1940s recipe book, and inside that recipe book was another recipe taped inside the book, and it was chili parlor recipe. That's my mama's recipe, folks. I know it is. I will put a picture of it right here so that you all can see it. Only for a moment though, and then you can follow it. This is the best recipe. I add a little extra to it. I add the tomatoes and I add the kidney beans. Of course, I ran out of my canned personal jarred kidney beans and I had to go buy some. That's a bummer. But I gotta have chili with kidney beans. That's just who I am. You don't have to put that in there, and it's great for hot dogs, spaghetti. Put it on a bowl of mac and cheese with a little bit more cheese on top. I've had so many ways, and I love it, like scooped onto mac and cheese. Oh, that's my favorite. Baked potato, you name it. If you want more heat to it, add more chili spice. It's just good. I hope you like this recipe. I will show you how I did it. I start by adding my onion. This is about a half of a large Vidalia onion. I'm chopping it as fine as I can because my husband does not like onions, folks. You know that. I add a little bit of onion or a little bit of oil to the pan. Put my onion in there and just brown them a little bit in that oil. And then I'll add 2 pounds of ground chuck. I like the ground chuck because you just get more meat. That's basically why. But I stir that together and try to get the onions blended in with the meat a little bit better so that ground beef can touch the pan. I use 4 heaping tablespoons of my mama's chili seasoning. And then I put in a can of tomato paste. I think it's a 6-ounce can. And then I mix that together. My Memo Nellie told me she always cut her cans at both ends with the can opener. Took the top lid off and just slid it through, and I've been doing it ever since. That way I don't have to get a spoon and scrape it. I added about 6 cups of water. You're only supposed to add 4, but you can do what you want there. And then I stir that in good. I get supposedly 4 good dashes of Worcestershire sauce. And then 2 huge bay leaves. Well, these bay leaves were a little small, so I did 4. And then a teaspoon and a half of white vinegar. I stir that together, get it mixed well. And then this is my part. I add tomatoes and I also add kidney beans. I made sure they were rinsed and drained, and then stir that together. Get it going and then bring it all up to a boil. And once it comes up to a boil, I'll stir it every now and then while it's trying to boil, because I don't want it to stick or anything to the bottom. And then when it does come up to a boil like this, I will stir it again, and then I will put the lid on it. I will turn my stove down to simmer and just let it sit there and simmer for a few hours. I'll clean and do other things. I come back to it every now and then and I'll stir it to make sure it's not stuck to the bottom. And this time I leave the lid a little bit askew. It's not all the way on there tight. I just have it slightly vented, just to get some of that liquid out of there. This has more oil in it than I want. Usually my ground chuck isn't that oily, but I don't want that much oil in my soup. So I am going to just use my canning ladle, and I'm just barely putting in there to let that oil come into it. Try to get as much oil as I can out of there. That's a lot of oil water mix. I am going to continue to do this until I get it to where I want it. I like using ground round too, but ground round is really very, very lean, but it's so expensive. I didn't want to pay the extra money for it this time. So I do like using ground chuck too, because ground chuck has a good flavor. So I'm getting quite a bit of the oil out. More than I thought I could. And I'm just basically taking and putting this in the trash in a container. Round 3. This is why my Memo Nellie always boiled her hamburger first. She did. She would boil it, rinse it, strain it, and put it in the pot and then make her chili, because her husband had heart issues, and it helped remove a lot of that cholesterol in that. It's what the doctors told her to do. So she never had to deal with a lot of the oil. Yeah, that looks much better. That, my friends, is my mother's chili recipe. And I like to put a little cheddar cheese on mine. My husband likes a lot more. And I usually cook a little spaghetti on the side for me also, because I can't have the crackers. So now I just want some of this chili. I mean, look at that. Isn't that good? It's got good flavor too. Just a little bit of heat and a lot of that nice flavors and chili that you want. It's good. If you want more heat, add more chili flakes or chili pepper when you're cooking your chili, and that's it. This is what I do with my leftover chili. I wait till the next morning. I take all the cold pieces of fat off of it, and then I throw that fat away, and then what I have is the chili, and I heat it back up till it's just warm through. Just warm. I don't want it like hot. I just want it warm. And then I get my jars ready. They've been washed and rinsed, and the chili's not too hot. And I take my leftover chili. Sometimes I might only get, it depends on how much we have left over. I want some for supper tonight too. But I just take some of the extras and I put it in my jars. About an inch headspace is what I do. I can't find my debubbler, but I got a chopping stick here, and I'm just going to make sure it's debubbled good. I take a rag that with just a little bit of vinegar on it. You can have water vinegar mixture, but I run it around the rim of my jar. I get my lid. I have them washed, rinsed, and in warm water. Don't have to be hot. Put the lid on it. Put the ring on it. And I will do all 4 of them like this and sit them in my Nesco canner. I only got 3 jars in my canner instead of 4. I make sure they don't wobble while it's processing. I lock it, make sure it's on exhaust, and then I will set the timer for 75 minutes. It's 75 minutes pints and 90 minutes for quarts. It will, after I hit the start button, I wait for it to come up to pressure, and then it'll go count down from 10 to 0, letting loose steam. When it alarms me, I put it on airtight, and I wait till it comes back up to full pressure at 75-minute countdown. It goes from 75 minutes to 0, and when it hits 0, it's an alarm. It says off. I unplug it, and I walk away, and I leave it for an hour, hour and a half. I don't touch it. I got my 3 jars out. They're still bubbling away. Looks good. Looks like a couple may have sealed. Waiting for the other one to pop. But this is such a blessing. I know people have asked me why bother with 2 or 3 jars. Well, that's 2 or 3 jars added to my shelf, to my pantry. You know, that's 3 meals right here for 2 people. And I'm not taking up freezer space by putting them in Ziploc baggies and throwing it in the freezer. So, and I don't have to worry about electric going out or this or that. I love this. And my family loves chili. And this is the best way for me to get it on the shelf. Thank you for watching. I love you all. I hope you enjoyed this recipe, and I will see you again. I pray that God blesses each and every one of you.